Anyhow, good afternoon, Evan. How are you today, buddy boy?
Happy New Year.
And that's it. No more Happy New Year's.
One and done. Happy New
That's
Year
it.
to the audience. Happy New Year to Craig. Happy New Year to everybody not named Robert Saleh.
Well, you know, it's funny. All of a sudden, people think Robert Saleh's on the hot seat. Robert Saleh should be on the hot seat. Now, he should also come back. So let me, at least on my side, you, of course, have your own opinion. I see absolutely no reason not to bring Robert Saleh back. And I don't want to be one of these teams where it's every 2 years we just keep changing and changing and changing
I
and
think
changing.
if you have a chance to get better, then, yeah, you make a change. I just don't think there's a realistic guy out there. Don't tell me Sean Payton, where the Jets can get a proven, ready improvement at head coach. But I'll tell you this, forget about what I think and forget about what you think. I think there's about a 25% chance Woody Johnson wakes up in the next 2 weeks and fires his ass.
I mean, listen, it's certainly possible.
I think that is on the table because remember this about Woody Johnson. Woody's come back from bloody old England.
Yeah.
And he didn't hire Robert Saleh. His brother hired Robert Saleh.
Look, I have to assume that he was talked to prior to that signing. That being said, you know, it's, God dang, I'm just pissed off at the way it's gone is the problem. And then, like we always say, there are different, ways of getting to the same record.
Yes.
When you lose, you last 5 consecutive games and you blow what should have been a guaranteed playoff run. Sorry, someone's got to pay for it.
This is a perfect example of that because before every NFL season, we all sit here, we make predictions. This team's going to win 6 games, 8 games, 7 games. And we always say, but keep this in mind, sometimes it's how you get to that number.
Yeah.
It's how you get there. The Jets are either going to finish 7-10 or they're going to finish 8-9. Which, at the beginning of the season, you would have said, oh, look at that.
I'd sign up for that. That shows great improvement.
But they have collapsed down the stretch.
Yeah.
They have not been ready to play football down the stretch. They have been poorly coached down the stretch. They have sucked in every aspect down the stretch. Whether it's the quarterback, the Cinderella story named Mike White ended horribly yesterday afternoon. Whether it's the offensive line, trash. Whether it's the run game, trash. Whether it's the defense, overrated, trash. Whether it's the special teams, trash. Whether it's the offensive coordinator, trash. Whether it's the head coach, trash. Trash, 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 trash.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with you. You're right. Now, I don't want to be a team where every time things don't go our way, the knee-jerk reaction always is, it's got to be the coach's fault. We need a new head coach in here. I think Robert Saleh gets 1 more year.
Hold on.
And that is it.
Excuse me. Can I ask you a question?
Bring it on, baby.
Because I totally understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the guy that fires coaches every 2 years.
I don't.
Last year,
Yes.
the New York Giants had to make a decision after only 2 years.
That's right.
They made that decision.
And I advocated for that decision to be made.
How's that look today?
It looks great today.
But wait a second.
Yeah.
They fired Ben McAdoo so quickly.
Yeah.
They fired Pat Shurmur so quickly. We said it a year ago at this time. Would John Mara want to fire another coach after 2 years? Here's the answer to your question. If the guy's not the answer, then what are we waiting around for?
Okay. Listen, that's a very, very good argument.
Were the Giants right to fire Pat Shurmur?
Yes.
Were they right to fire Ben McAdoo?
Yes.
Were they right to fire Joe Judge?
Yes.
Does it appear like they found the right guy?
Yes, yes, yes. Gibraltar is the girl. Thank you very much. That being said, there's a level of incompetence that those guys all exhibited. Mm-hmm. And that's why Giant fans yelled and screamed, go get me the next guy. Go get me the next guy. Go get me the next guy. If you tell me that you've got a Harbaugh coming from Michigan, I'm all in. But I don't want to fire Robert Saleh for the sake of firing Robert Saleh.
No, hold on. Do you think 9 points in 2 weeks is competent?
You know it's not.
Do you think 38 points in 4 weeks is competent?
You know that it's not.
Do you think the defense looking completely unprepared to play from the first freaking play of the game is competent?
Kenneth
Do you
Walker.
think that third-string tight ends smoking your ass is competent?
No, I do not.
So I just answered your question.
No, you did not. You want to fire LaFleur? Go ahead and fire LaFleur.
No, I just brought up the defense.
Yeah, you want to? Well, you want to fire the defensive coordinator?
No.
Fire him too.
Hold on.
All good.
I am not saying don't misinterpret me, and I think you are, and I apologize. It's my fault. I'm not being eloquent in this. I'm not even telling you they have to fire Robert Saleh. What I'm explaining to you is I'm retorting your comments about I don't want to fire a coach after just 2 years. I gave you examples on why you should sometimes. You said, well, this isn't as bad as what happened with the Giants down the stretch. And I'm countering that if you look at the way this team has played, and I've just cited a few examples, it has been that bad. So while I understand that firing Robert Saleh seems crazy, who you're going to replace him with,
by the way, I want to be clear. I didn't say it sounds crazy. I'd like to avoid doing it.
I'm just pointing out that over the last 5 weeks, but really the last 3 weeks against Detroit, Jacksonville, and Seattle, this has been the definition of pathetic.
Yes.
Of bad. Of things that get coaches fired.
But I think that there is a singular causal reason for the downfall.
Go ahead.
We don't have a quarterback.
That's not the only reason.
That's the main reason.
When Kenneth Walker ran for 60 yards on the first play of the game, is that the quarterback's fault?
No, it is not.
When the Seattle Seahawks scored points on their first 3 possessions,
no, it is
they put
not.
up 17 points essentially in the first quarter. Was that the quarterback's fault?
Well, a little bit. I mean, field position.
Was it?
A little bit. Teeny bit.
A
little teeny bit of that. Look, we're not a good team. It's been 12 years now without making it into the playoffs. That means that if you were a kindergartner in 2010, you are graduating high school this year, and you have never seen a playoff game from the New York Jets.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Maybe the owner's the problem.
Maybe. But the owner's not firing himself.
Damn it.
And look, I'm not telling you they have to fire Robert Saleh. Here's what I am telling you. Us having a discussion about his future today is not crazy.
No, I want to be clear. I don't think it's crazy.
Okay.
I could make eloquent arguments that Robert Saleh is part of the problem. I have no problem with the conversation. But my gut is one more year. That's my gut.
No, I probably lean there too. But if you look at what we've seen over the last 5 weeks, you can lay out why.
Yes. They've gotten worse, not better.
Yeah, they've gotten far worse.
Yeah.
They were non-competitive against a choking Seattle Seahawks team. They were non-competitive against the Jacksonville Jaguars in the rain a week and a half ago. And I'm sorry, to come out and play the kind of defense they played on the first 3 possessions when you had 10 days to prepare is inexcusable.
I mean, down a touchdown, it felt like the game was out of hand. 20-6, there was no way we were coming back.
And look,
are we on the same page on that?
Absolutely, and everybody wants the blood, so I'll give you the blood. All right, let me just get this out of the way. Mike White was putrid yesterday.
Yes.
Mike White was awful yesterday. Mike White gave you one of the worst quarterback performances you'll ever see.
He played like he did all August.
Yes, and I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
That was preseason Mike White.
That's
so
right.
I'm not exonerating him. I'm not excusing anything for him. He was awful. Now, for anybody to use his performance and say, see, Zach Wilson should have started, you're making an asinine point.
I don't know who would have said that. That's a stupid point. I agree with you on that.
Mike White sucking has nothing to do with exonerating Zach Wilson. No. Zach was terrible, who deserved to be benched. What Mike White did for people like me yesterday is they answered the question.
He's not the guy. Right, I agree. The New York Jets do not have a legitimate quarterback on their roster. No disrespect to Joe Flacco's career. He's not a quarterback anymore. Chris Trevler never was. The New York Jets right now do not have a quarterback. And they got to figure that out.
Yeah.
Whether it's, to me, it's very obvious. There's going to be 4 or 5 veteran quarterbacks that are going to be available. Pick one, sign them, be done with it. That's the only answer, right? Meanwhile, Evan, while you and I sit here and wallow in our misery, one of the beauties of being a New Yorker is that we can always look to our left or look to our right. And every once in a while, the sun shines on a dog's ass. And that day is today with the New York Giants. And all of a sudden, everybody's favorite quarterback, Danny Jones, everybody's favorite running back, Saquon Barkley, and the odds-on favorite, or one of the favorites, to be NFL Coach of the Year, Brian Daboll, as the Giants for the first time in a decade, it seems like, put a 30-burger on the board.
You know, it's funny.
And take care of business against the Colts.
Do you know the last time the New York Giants scored 30 points
I think it was
in a game?
2020.
It was October of 2020.
Yeah.
It was a month prior to us ever even doing a show together.
Nice.
They put up 34 points in a loss to the Dallas Cowboys. They had gone 43 consecutive games, which is like ridiculous. It's almost like I'm making it up.
Yeah.
And maybe I am, unless you fact check me. 43 straight games without putting up 30 points. And yesterday afternoon, in a game that they had to have.
Yes, it was a playoff game.
Let's not mess around here. You couldn't lose this game and risk what could be on
A,
the
you're
line.
at home. B, it's an inferior opponent. C, you win, you're in.
No doubt.
That's it.
And they, for the most part, I know they were down 3-0 and you were a little bit nervous, but Jeff Saturday's afraid. Ooh, 4th and 1, I'm afraid. So he kicked a loser field goal. But really, for the most part, the Giants left no doubt.
Yeah.
And they left no doubt because their defense has been playing at an extremely high level. And because this quarterback, and I'll admit it, I'll raise my
Playing
hand.
his ass off.
Dead wrong about Daniel Jones.
Yep.
And I'm not the only one who should be raising my hand today. That doesn't mean I think he's a franchise quarterback. He's going to the Hall of Fame. But that doesn't matter. He was a quarterback good enough to help lead this team to the postseason. And yesterday, it was those beautiful, scrawny legs of his. Vanilla Vic was at his best yesterday, leading the Giants to the postseason.
Yeah, not just that. If it plays out the way it looks like it could, you have the Minnesota Vikings in round 1, and that'd be a nice sort of rematch after a game a couple weeks ago that you lost on a 61-yard field goal, and you had every opportunity to win. So that would not be an opponent that you would say, all right, we're one and done. That's a legitimate shot to win.
They could win that game. And this team, I was thinking back at this over the last decade of New York sports, like the great surprise team that came out of nowhere.
The 2007 Giants.
Well, in terms of winning the Super Bowl, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a
Skittish
Super Bowl
quarterback,
team.
0-2 to start the year. Gave up 80 points.
The only thing
goal line stand against Washington.
The only thing I counter on that is I think going into that season, the idea of the Giants being a playoff team was not crazy. You know what I mean? Now, them winning the Super Bowl, absolutely. But being a playoff team, which is where this team is at right now, they went into 2007 with decent expectations. Think about what they had accomplished in 2006 and 2005. So I wouldn't even look at that season just in terms of going into a season, Craig, where you expect a team to suck, where you expect a team to miss the playoffs, where you expect a team to not even be a factor. We don't have a long list of examples. Honestly, the best example I could think of was your basketball team a few years ago.
Yeah,
in 2021.
To Atlanta. Yeah, maybe the Jets with Sanchez rookie season.
Yeah,
maybe.
But you know what?
Right?
Even with that team with a new coach and a new quarterback, they were coming off a year in which they won 9 games.
And they had some veterans, that's true.
They had veterans. Like the Giants were coming off not just a beyond pathetic season, but a rebuild season. A year we all accepted Brian Daboll's going to get a free pass, Joe Shane's going to get a free pass, because what can he honestly do?
And they even said that. They said, look, we're going to try to compete while we tear it apart.
Yeah.
So just no going in. We're going to try to compete, but we're tearing it apart.
I mean, isn't that basically telling you we expect nothing?
That's exactly right.
And look what they did.
Yeah, they made the playoffs.
It really is one of the great, shocking playoff accomplishments we've seen in a long time.
Yes, and by the way, you get the Vikings in round 1, roll the dice. Because ain't nobody afraid of the Minnesota Vikings.
You could beat that team.
Absolutely. Should have beaten them a couple weeks ago.
Sure, absolutely.
All right, so we got lots to do. The Giants, up. The Jets, down, and everything in between. It is really a tale of two cities, isn't it? The way Jet fans feel right now and the way Giant fans feel right now. And if you told me before the year that Giant fans would be happy and Jet fans would be ticked off, it's kind of the script. Right?
That's what we grew
kind
up
of the
with.
script, right?
That's called my childhood and my teens and my 20s and my 30s and soon to be my 40s.
It's the one thing, to be fair, we're kind of all used to.
Yes.
Right? It's like the worlds are aligned properly right now.
Yes.
The Giants are in the postseason. Jet fans are ticked off.
And what's crazy about this one is that the Jets have talent. And all year long.
They got more talent than the Giants do.
Right. And all year long we said that. And at the end of the day, look who's in the playoffs and look who's playing for them a meaningless Week 18.
Now, one of the highlights, I shouldn't say highlights. It's not a highlight. Well, it's kind of a highlight. One of the highlights of yesterday's game is the fact that Jeff Saturday pulled all his guys together as a former offensive lineman. And as the story now goes, he goes, look, I won a Super Bowl. I know what I'm doing. So here's the game plan. Whatever you guys do, don't block number 5. Just don't block him. He's not that good. And Kayvon Thibodeau comes in unblocked and kills Nick Foles. And then while Nick Foles' dead body is writhing on the ground, Kayvon decides to snow angel on top of him. And you can call it tasteless, whatever else you want to say. I don't really care. Here's the part of it that, to me, was fascinating. Not a single member of the Indianapolis Colts did a damn thing about it.
Not a thing. I agree.
Now, you can yell and scream all you want. It's classless. It's tasteless. You're probably right. Doing the sleep sign on the sideline while Nick Foles is being carted off tasteless, classless, immature, rank, unprofessional, whatever you want to call it. Have at it. But what does it tell you about the Jeff Saturday Colts? That not a single Colt during that play or any subsequent play try to do a damn thing about it to Kayvon Thibodeau.
What does it say?
That's all I need to know.
Does it say that, A, they don't like Nick Foles? Does it say, B, we don't give a crap about Jeff Saturday?
Yep.
Does it say, C, you know what, we got 2 weeks left in this meaningless season. Let's get the hell out of here.
I say it says more about that than anything.
Yes.
That they've quit, they've given up. But B, the notion that Jeff Saturday was going to instill upon them something, whatever that something is, failed miserably.
Remember that first week?
Because you have your quarterback writhing in pain with most likely broken ribs, and the dude who did it is clowning him on the ground next to him while the medical staff comes over to tend to the guy.
Right.
And not a single Colt did a damn thing about it. The New York Giants yesterday stole their souls, and no one argued.
That's my line. You stole
It's
my line.
actually Bart Scott's line.
Stole soul? When did he say that?
So I had to tell you, not to bring up a name from the past. I
No,
apologize.
but when did he say that?
He said that famously when they played when he was a Raven. And they played the Pittsburgh Steelers.
He's got me beat then.
And how about this?
I thought it was the Jets were stealing the Patriots song 2 months ago.
Even better, he says he's going to, I forget the guy's name. You would know the guy. He said he's going to steal a soul. And he told Mike Tomlin. So Mike Tomlin, being a player's guy, even though Bart's playing for the Ravens, put the guy in the game.
He's a soul
he told the
stealer.
guy, he goes, look, Bart Scott's coming for your soul. Do something about it. And he didn't.
Did any New York Giant say anything to Kayvon Thibodeau?
I mean,
because there's
that I saw.
There's two angles to what happened. There's
and
what
I didn't hear
up.
if Dable commented on. I missed it.
Well, I heard what Kayvon Thibodeau said. Kayvon Thibodeau said he didn't know. He didn't know that Nick Foles was in pain. But there's two angles to this. You brought up one that if I'm in Indianapolis, that's all we're talking about today.
Oh yeah,
that this coach can't be our coach. They don't care. They don't respect him. They don't care about the quarterback. Blow the whole thing up.
Yep.
In New York, we're going to look more at Kayvon Thibodeau. And we're going to say, hey, we love this kid. The guy was a beast over the last few weeks.
He's becoming a star.
He's becoming a star. We love him. But maybe he shouldn't have done that. Maybe he shouldn't have been doing a snow angel as Nick Foles is lying there hoping all his ribs are still in place.
It wasn't the best look, but it didn't bother me. But it's not a good look. If it was in reverse, we would have yelled and screamed bloody murder about it.
We'd be going nuts.
We would.
I look at it this way with him. I understand him doing that and not realizing what's happening with Nick Foles.
Which is kind of hard to believe since he kept hitting him with the angel part. I mean, it wasn't like, dude, every time
his hand was hitting him?
Yeah. Every time he did the angel
but he's looking up. He's not looking over at where Nick Foles is.
He kept hitting a writhing body. Like,
he doesn't know that Nick Foles is in pain.
Who else would be laying on the ground with him?
I'm sorry, Evan. I'll buy the fact that when he went down to the ground, he might not have known. But by the third or fourth snow angel, he's got to know.
See, that's the one I actually sort of buy, that maybe he didn't know when he does the go-to-sleep thing on the sidelines. That's a problem.
I mean...
Well, what does that mean? Who's he saying to go to sleep?
Obviously, Nick Foles.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, that's the Steph Curry thing. But, yeah, he could have been saying, we put the Colts to bed, I guess. So
don't you think that one is worse?
I don't think either of them are great. But since it's our guy doing it, who cares?
Well, hold on. You can't have that attitude.
I mean, that's what it is, though. If it happened against us, we would scream bloody murder. But because it's our guy doing it,
you got to be careful.
Not that big a deal.
I understand what you're saying right now.
I think what he did was classless.
Okay, but you can't just...
But I'm not bothered by it.
But you got to watch out. Because that was today. That was yesterday.
Yeah.
You don't know what next week's going to hold. You don't know what 2 weeks from now is going to hold.
As far as trusting him not to do something stupid?
Yes.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Which could also turn into a 15-yard penalty and cost your team a game.
Well, hopefully Brian Dable has spoken to him.
Well, that's why you can't just simply say, I don't really care about it.
I can. I'm not Brian Dable.
Yeah, but do you want the Giants to learn from a mistake that they just made?
Of course.
So then say something about it.
I'm not bothered by it. That being said, he shouldn't have done it. Does that make sense?
No.
Why not?
It doesn't make sense.
Look, he shouldn't have done it.
Okay.
But it didn't bother me. That's all. That's how I see it.
Look, it bothered me. Was I bothered by it?
I tell you what bothered me more.
What?
Bothered me more that Justin Jefferson took his helmet off and swung it like a weapon and hit a referee in the shoulder, and there's no flag. He's not kicked out of the game, and no one said anything about that.
Oh, he's going to get fined.
He should be suspended for the year.
Not for the year.
100%.
For the whole season?
Violence towards an official?
Yeah, but he didn't mean
Either we protect our officials or we don't.
I know that there are
Justin
images.
Jefferson, gone for the year. See you next year, buddy.
I know that there are images in which it looks as if Justin Jefferson is a professional wrestler and he's about to shockingly hit the ref with his helmet.
No.
But that's not what happened.
That's exactly what
he
happened.
didn't know the ref was standing
How
there.
could he not know? The ref's standing in front of him.
He was letting out his aggression, and then accidentally the helmet made contact with the official.
The referee is standing in front of him. He hits the referee.
Wait, so you think Justin Jefferson purposely assaulted the official?
Yes.
On purpose?
100%.
Like, knowingly.
Yeah.
Was so pissed off, said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make believe this is the WWE and there's a steel chair.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hit Earl Hebner with it.
By the way, how about John Cena winning that little tag team match last Friday night?
Did you watch that?
Of course not. I saw the opening 5 minutes. I was like, here we go. This will take 3 hours to get there. Yeah, he beat the tribal chief. What?
No. Hold on. He did not. Kevin
Tag team.
Owens pinned Sami Zayn, okay? Roman Reigns did not take a pinfall. In fact, he hasn't taken a pinfall since like 2019.
Champion just lost. That's all I'm
The
saying.
champion did not lose.
John Cena's the king again.
Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da.
All right, listen, we'll get all your calls.
That's what Kayvon Thibodeau should have done to Nick Foles. He should have stood above him and then to John Cena, you can't see me. Now that would have been something.
He would have gotten a flag on that. By the way, I'm not bothered by all those classless and tasteless. How does he not get a flag on that?
Yeah.
Like if there's ever been taunting, that was it.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Sort of.
Come on. 10 snow angels
But guys
next to a dying guy.
Guys do snow angels all the time. I think I've even seen Kayvon Thibodeau do it a couple times. That's his thing.
I guess.
That's
but
his
he
shtick.
he did it on top of the body. You know.
You act as if like he 100% knew he just killed someone and then laid down next to him.
I think
he didn't know.
I think he had to know.
I don't. You know what? I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
I
on
like the
snow
kid
angel.
a lot, but I think he had to know at some point, mid-angel, when his hand keeps hitting the body, and then the medical staff comes and like kind of kicks him out of the way. He had to have known at some point.
You think Daboll said anything to him?
Yes, I do. Matter of fact, I think Daboll doesn't miss a beat.
Yeah. This is one of those things where there's two reasons why you got to do something. Number one, it's classless and all that. But number two, you don't want to have a mistake like that cost
Like
you.
you saw
at the
Daboll on
worst
the
possible
sideline get all
time.
ticked off again yesterday. I forget on the exact play.
The Darius Slayton fumble?
Yeah,
you didn't seem happy about that
the
one.
Slayton fumble. That's exactly what it was. He was livid. Anyway, we got lots to do.